我们被一颗沙粒
我会死，
吸进去了。
你一定会死。
不日久，
它会通往哪里？
我人类族群不得不与异族周旋。
火力足以令寻常宇宙之主湮灭。
哎，你真有耐心。
有人，
人类超级强者的手臂，
历经3个轮回，
这里对你来说太危险了。
是这
现将至。
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Alrasta channel. Here I will share spoilers for SwallowedStar episode 228. Just a quick reminder, this breakdown is based on the novel, so expect some slight differences from the Donghua version. Alright, without further ado, let's dive right into the story. In their very first connection, the still innocent spirit of the Shu Wu wings told Luofeng that it wanted to go out and devour the surrounding light, which it called the light from the origin, or the energy core of the white wings. The spirit also shared a broken, ancient memory hidden deep within its consciousness. It revealed that in its complete form from the past, this true treasure actually had a total of 6 pairs of wings. This mind-blowing info instantly left Luofeng dumbfounded. He realized that the massive secret behind the origin of these wings went way deeper than he had ever imagined. Even though the Shu Wu wing's spirit was just born, Luofeng patiently guided it for half a day until he finally got a clear understanding of the treasure's origin. Based on the stored ancient memory fragments, the previous owner of the Shi Wu wings was a mighty 2-horned giant with a towering divine body and 6 complementary pairs of wings. Each pair of wings had its own unique function. The Shi Wu wings and the mysterious white wings in front of them were just 2 parts of the complete 6 pairs, which, when combined, would create absolute perfection. The terrifying power of this winged treasure actually came from its core, known as the Origin, which functioned a lot like a car engine with incredible energy storage efficiency. The Shi Wu wing's spirit then warned Luofeng that once the merging process was complete, the spirits of the 2 wings would fight to the death to devour each other. Fully aware of the Shi Wu wing's loyalty, having been with him since its birth, Luofeng promised to help it defeat the cunning white wing spirit so that the Shi Wu wings would become the sole consciousness commanding the complete wing treasure. Furthermore, the Shu Wu wings spilled a massive secret regarding the absolute requirement to conquer the mysterious white wings. It actually had absolutely nothing to do with one's genetic life level. For a universe venerable like Luofeng, the absolute requirement was to possess willpower on par with a true god. The spirit even revealed a shocking fact from its memory. Their former master was in existence far stronger than a true god. This legendary level instantly reminded Luofeng of the mysteries surrounding the eternal ancestors from the 2 holy lands in the universe ocean. Knowing this truth, Luofeng realized the white wing spirit had been lying just to trap him. His current willpower wasn't strong enough, and forcing it could be fatal. The Shi Wu wings explained that there were 2 ways to subdue the treasure. One of them was by locking the core component, or origin, inside the incredibly sturdy dimensional space of the Star Tower. Taking the Shi Wu wing's advice, Luofeng decided to play it safe, extending his waiting time while continuously honing his mental strength until it reached the required limit. After 3 years of silence, the white wing spirit, growing impatient, finally contacted Luofeng again. It accused him of deliberately stalling for time just to train his mental strength in that place. Luofeng casually admitted to it, honestly stating that he didn't want to gamble by handing over his pinnacle true treasure weapon. A minor argument ensued where the white wing spirit insisted it was far more valuable, but Luofeng wisely shot back, saying that if the treasure was willing to become his first, he would definitely find every possible way to restore its power. Seeing Luofeng's unwavering resolve, the white wing spirit finally gave in 3 years later. It declared its surrender and willingness to release its core component so Luofeng could channel his divine power into it. A moment later, a mysterious beam of light shot out from the edge of the giant white wings, drifting amidst the fierce storm of light blades. Not wanting to be careless, Luofeng immediately communicated with the Shi Wu wings to verify the authenticity of the expelled component. Upon seeing the component, the Shi Wu wings quickly warned Luofeng that the flying object was a fake. The real origin should always be surrounded by millions of light blades acting as the center of its energy vortex. It turned out the white wing spirit had hidden a deadly energy slash inside the fake light blade, intended to instantly kill Luofeng the moment he tried to touch it. Thanks to the Shi Wu wing's warning, Luofeng managed to escape the death trap and now knew exactly the malicious, hidden intentions of the white wing spirit targeting him. Luofeng was genuinely shocked, realizing just how thin the line between life and death was if the Shi Wu wings hadn't warned him in time. Outside, the white-winged spirit kept up its act, urging Luofeng to quickly grab the fake white bead and merge it into his divine body to leave a soul imprint. However, Luofeng, who already knew it was a death trap, chose to play it smart. He refused to put the dangerous object into his body, citing safety reasons, and deliberately brought out his Mosha body from inside the star tower to test the bead as a soul slave. Seeing its instant kill plan fail because Luofeng used a clone to touch the fake bead, the white-winged spirit started to panic and made excuses, claiming that a supreme true treasure level item naturally wouldn't react to a clone's body. Realizing its charade was completely busted, the spirit finally dropped the act and roared in fury, questioning how a puny human like Luofeng could sniff out its tricks. Luofeng immediately scoffed at the creature's arrogance and exposed all the holes in its contradictory story, from the absurdly high requirements for a universe master to the spirit's hidden agenda of setting high standards just to make its potential victims feel proud and drop their guard. Hearing Luofeng's sharp analysis, the white-winged spirit, now utterly humiliated, fired back by belittling Luofeng, stating that a lowly universe venerable would never be worthy of becoming its master. Faced with this harsh rejection, Luofeng could only let out a long sigh before issuing an absolute command to the Shiwu wings to start absorbing the energy in the area. Instantly, massive tremors shook the entire spatial dimension as 4 giant silver wings burst out from the 4 gates of the star tower, expanding at extreme speed from a tiny speck to a size eclipsing a star. Seeing the emergence of the Shiwu wings, the white-winged spirit became terrified, never expecting another spirit to be born from the same wing parts. The millions of light slashes that initially formed a deadly storm now reversed direction, flying wildly like moths to a flame to merge into Luofeng's 4 silver wings. Even as the white-winged spirit screamed hysterically and tried to hold back the energy flow, the Shiwu wings calmly replied that they were both part of the same entity and equally injured, meaning it had every right to this restorative energy. For the Shiwu wings, the light slashes filling the area were like water pouring over parched earth, greedily absorbed without a single drop left behind. As the rightful owner, Luofeng could feel the drastic changes in the Shiwu wings' internal components. This cosmic-scale energy absorption continued until the Shiwu wings swelled massively, stretching from billions of kilometers to a fantastic size of 1 to 2 light-years long. In the midst of this incredible recovery process, the Shiwu wings joyfully told Luofeng that its ancient memory fragments had now been unlocked. The facts were revealed. In a massive battle in the past, the entire wing treasure was shattered. The giant white wings in front of them were the topmost part, suffering the most severe structural damage on the outside. Conversely, the other 5 pairs of wings, including the Shiwu wings, only suffered internal damage, which meant the pure light from their former master present in this place was the ultimate, instant healing medicine they needed. While the Shiwu wings continued to grow mightier, greedily devouring the sea of energy, the giant white-winged spirit could only wail in deep anger and frustration. It kept screaming hysterically, trying desperately to stop the looting of its energy, which was now making Luofeng's Shiwu wings far more dominant. The tables had completely turned. Luofeng, who was initially cornered by a trap, was now in full control of the situation thanks to his patience and his loyal ally. Seeing his Shiwu wings pushing to grow even larger, Luofeng went all out to maintain its gigantic form. Based on the recovered memories, this entire treasure was originally split into 6 pairs of wings due to that devastating battle in the past. The 6th pair, positioned at the very top, was blessed with carrying the origin component as its core engine. Even though the white wings had been drifting in a dangerous zone, the origin allowed it to heal most of its external wounds independently. This was a stark contrast to the fate of the other 5 pairs, which were scattered across the universe ocean without a protective core, causing their internal conditions to severely deteriorate over time. Now, the massive advantage swung back to Luofeng, as the 2 pairs of wings on his back could absorb pure energy directly from the origin through the storm of light blades in the area. Luofeng's 4 giant silver wings expanded to several light-years in size, rivaling the majesty of the white wings before him, which were now trembling after losing their sea of energy. This cosmic-scale energy absorption went incredibly smoothly. In just half a day, the Shiwu wings managed to restore 10% of its total damaged internal components, an impossible feat to achieve relying solely on Luofeng's divine power. Seeing its treasure's energy being openly looted, the white-winged spirit lost all its pride and started cursing Luofeng and the Shiwu wings, calling them a bunch of bandits. However, the Shiwu wings casually mocked it back, emphasizing that this energy belonged to all 6 pairs of wings, not just the personal property of the white wings. Amidst their bickering, both spirits realized that their rivalry was a matter of life and death. When all the wing pairs eventually merged in the future, only one spirit would be allowed to survive, while the loser would be wiped out forever. Time ticked by until 30 hours had passed, and the Shi-Wu wings periodically reported its incredible restoration progress, reaching an astonishing 90%. This massive absorption even caused the diameter of the giant white wings to shrink to half a light year as it lost the millions of light blades that served as its shield. Not long after, the Shi-Wu wings joyfully announced that its restoration process was 100% complete, returning it to a state of absolute perfection. Despite being fully recovered, the Shi-Wu wings explained that Luofeng could currently only activate 2 types of techniques because he only possessed 2 out of the total 6 pairs of wings. Even so, the destructive power of these 2 techniques could now be unleashed at their full, far more lethal potential, no longer half-baked like when the wings were damaged. The Shi-Wu wings also had to stop absorbing energy because its body lacked a storage space like the Origin, meaning any remaining light blades that entered would just slip right back out. Luofeng felt a bit disappointed that they failed to bait the White Wing spirit into ejecting the real Origin component, so he could trap it inside the Star Tower. Without the Origin component, the White Wings wouldn't actually be able to put up a fight, and Luofeng could slowly store it while honing his mental strength. However, since the White Wing spirit was on high alert and refused to expose its core, the Shi-Wu wings calmed Luofeng down. It assured him that no other creature could snatch these White Wings anyway, considering the requirements were absolutely impossible for any normal universe venerable or universe master in the universe ocean. Realizing the treasure wasn't going anywhere, Luofeng decided not to rush off. He chose to stay and use the existing mental pressure as a training ground for his willpower. The silver Shi-Wu wings were quickly retracted, and the Star Tower shrank to the size of a dust speck before slowly moving closer to the White Wings. Time flew by with 1,200 years passing, during which Luofeng's remote ocean clone continued to wander Earth, enriching his inner experiences to fortify his willpower. Finally, the dust-sized Star Tower managed to land right on top of a half-meter-wide ancient bloodstain on the surface of the White Wings, leaving Luofeng stunned as he directly felt a terrifyingly overwhelming aura of death emanating from it. Even though Luofeng had successfully landed directly on the ancient bloodstain on the giant White Wing surface, the Shi-Wu wings quickly warned him that his current mental strength was still far from enough. Over the past 1,200 years, Luofeng's willpower had indeed grown by leaps and bounds, reaching the peak universe master level. However, jumping to the true god level required a massive fundamental shift in willpower. Luofeng calmly accepted this fact. To him, over 1,000 years of extreme training in this place was far more effective than the 100 million years he spent in the beast god world, even though he knew that enduring such insane pressure continuously could slowly damage his own soul. Realizing his time limit was up, Luofeng decided to wrap up his training and began steering the Star Tower to leave the White Wing's dimension. Filled with vengeance, the White Wing spirit threw one last threat, vowing to make Luofeng regret this. Luofeng casually brushed it off, stating he would definitely be back to conquer it in the future. Once out in more stable space, Luofeng, curious about the newly fully recovered Shi-Wu Wing's power, immediately burned his divine power to activate the legendary Golden Country technique. Instantly, a massive veil of golden light expanded to cover an incredible radius of 80 light years, an achievement that made Luofeng's eyes widen in sheer joy. The power of Golden Country, with his winged treasure in peak condition, was terrifyingly immense. It was on par with the combined forces of his miniature universe, the old version of Golden Country, and his Flame Ocean techniques, making it capable of rivaling the mystical divine wood item used by top-tier universe masters. Amidst his awe, the golden energy radiance suddenly pierced through the rock wall limits at the edge of the 9th layer space, detecting the presence of a new hidden cave portal. Discovering this new portal immediately sparked Luofeng's curiosity. He guessed that the cave was the original path from which the giant White Wings first flew and eventually got stranded here. Piloting the dust-sized Star Tower, it took Luofeng more than a month of travel before he successfully broke through the 9 layers of protective light veils inside the blazing red tunnel. To play it safe, Luofeng stayed sheltered within the Star Tower and sent out his Mosha body clone to fly ahead as a scout, while keeping Golden Country active over a 10 billion square kilometer radius to anticipate any sudden dangers. The deeper they ventured into the Cardinal Tunnel, the more the surrounding temperature drastically spiked, making the Mosha body suffer immensely. A huge shock came when the Mosha body's hand accidentally touched the cave's rock wall. An incredibly strange, intense heat rapidly spread, melting his arm instantly like a burning candle. It even forced his life core to work overtime to reconstruct the partially destroyed divine body. Realizing this extreme heat could easily incinerate a universe venerable, Luofeng was forced to recall the Mosha body into the Star Tower. He then opted for long-distance teleportation, jumping several light-years deep into the heart of the Tilted Peak realm. After a perilous 30-light-year journey into an area feared even by the Primal Chaos City leader, the Star Tower finally arrived at the end of the tunnel, which opened into a terrifyingly massive karst cave. In this place, churning streams of white fire crisscrossed to form a gigantic magmatic network, radiating red, cyan, and gray auras from the cave's depths without causing a single spatial ripple. Luofeng tested the danger level of the place by extending a tiny fraction of his divine power, which was instantly vaporized. This proved that even a universe master would be roasted alive instantly here if they weren't wearing supreme true treasure level protection. Fortunately, his legendary Star Tower was completely unfazed by the raging white flames, proving its toughness as an absolute protective treasure indestructible by nature. While slowly moving through the firestorm, Luofeng's attention was suddenly drawn to a strange sight on the giant stone pillars standing tall amidst the magma sea. Every single grain of sand on the surface of those pillars reflected light in a very unusual way. When the Star Tower accidentally touched a grain of sand on one of the stone pillars, the tower instantly vanished, sucked into a barren, isolated dimensional space contained within that single grain. This magical phenomenon, an independent spatial dimension existing inside every grain of sand on the pillar, left Luofeng utterly astounded and bewildered until his gaze suddenly locked onto a very bizarre object on a stone pillar ahead. Not far from there, Luofeng's eyes fixed on a stone pillar that looked different from the rest. Looking closely, there was a faint claw mark, as deep as a four-fingered earthling's palm, carved deeply into its surface. Luofeng was baffled, guessing that this mark must have been left by an incredibly powerful true god. After all, this deepest area of the Tilted Peak realm possessed extreme heat capable of instantly incinerating ordinary universe masters. Driven by curiosity, Luofeng steered the sesame seed-sized Star Tower closer to touch a pebble right in the middle of the claw mark. In a flash, the Star Tower was sucked into the independent spatial dimension inside it. Once inside the pebble's dimension, Luofeng felt relieved because the temperature was much lower, only as warm as the core of a star, very safe compared to the sea of white fire outside. Luofeng quickly sent out the Mosha body to scout and activated his Golden Country technique to map out the entire barren region, which was filled with the sturdy rocks typical of the Tilted Peak realm. The search paid off when the Mosha body found a smooth stone wall at the peak of a mountain emitting strange energy waves. On the floor in front of it lay two mysterious items, a green pendant carved with a monster and a beautiful piece of silk fabric blending black and gold. Using the human race's unified database, Luofeng joyfully identified the green pendant as a special token for the Universe Boat, one of the three deadliest regions in the Universe Ocean, shaped like a giant, planet-sized ship known for swallowing shattered miniature universes. This token was incredibly valuable as it served as an authority key to lower the danger levels in certain areas of the Universe Boat, while also granting access to an exclusive training space. Meanwhile, the second item was a large silk cloth known as a pulling traces diagram, a rare and highly valuable material with a natural soul-calming effect. When the Mosha body channeled its divine power and consciousness into the silk cloth, Luofeng was instantly pulled into a virtual space projecting a massive replica of the Universe Boat, complete with red directional lines. Luofeng was ecstatic, realizing the item was a super detailed navigation map simulating safe routes to avoid the various death traps inside the Universe Boat. The value of this standalone map was astronomical, practically on par with the mystical divine wood. It was an invaluable asset that now belonged entirely to Luofeng, set to make his future adventures much smoother. The surprises didn't stop there. Suddenly, the stone wall in front of Luofeng shook violently and projected an ancient memory recording, displaying two incredibly majestic, mysterious figures. The first was a stunningly beautiful woman named Zhenlin, her entire body draped in fresh green leaves. The second was Jiefanzi, a bald man in a gray robe with no ears or nose, but possessing 3 eyes on his dead wood-like face. Through the broadcast of willpower energy, which translated naturally straight into Luofeng's brain, the two ancient beings greeted whoever managed to find their relics across the boundaries of long-past reincarnation eras. Through the recording, Jiefanzi explained that he was a wandering true god who didn't want his divine inheritance to simply vanish before he set off on his final gamble, breaking through the boundaries of reincarnation to achieve eternity. He revealed the jaw-dropping fact that the green token and the map Luofeng picked up were actually the keys to unlocking his secret dimensional space within the universe boat, the place where he stashed all his massive treasures and wealth. Zhenlin chimed in, saying she had left a similar inheritance of a token and a map in another location about 300 light-years away, which Luofeng could try to find if he had what it takes. At the end of the recording, Jiafanzi warned him not to be reckless in seeking Zhenlin's inheritance, as this area was the deepest core of the Tilted Peak realm, highly lethal even to true gods. The two legendary figures, who had lived for almost 3 reincarnation eras, shared a laugh and declared their grand ambitions to transcend reincarnation and create a new holy land before their figures slowly faded and disappeared completely. Luofeng, standing frozen in front of the stone wall, could only remain speechless for a long time. He felt deeply shaken yet wildly excited, realizing he had just acquired the key to the limitless wealth of an ancient cosmic overlord. Although he knew the mystery of reincarnation or incarnation was the biggest secret in the universe ocean, one that promised eternity, Luofeng chose not to overthink it, feeling his journey was still very long in the current reincarnation era. After confirming that the Golden Country technique hadn't detected any other valuable items in the karst cave, he decided to turn the Star Tower around and head home. He took this step because he knew this was the core area of the Tilted Peak realm, which was extremely lethal. He didn't want to risk getting his main protective treasure trapped there. The journey back was smooth sailing since the route was recorded. Within a few months, he successfully exited the danger zone and opted to return to the original universe. 1 month later, in human territory, specifically at a restaurant in an Asian city on Earth, Luofeng, dressed in casual clothes, sat quietly enjoying his tea while listening to the bustling chatter around him. Earth had now become a sanctuary for the elites and major families of the Earthling bloodline. Conversations about intercosmic national investments, like those in the Ganwu universe country, or ambitions to become a domain master, were commonplace amidst the vibe. A plain-looking man named Wei Wen, Luofeng's old best friend from his youth, came over and sat across from him. Thanks to Luofeng's spatial manipulation abilities, they could chat freely without worrying about other patrons hearing or remembering their conversation. Luofeng noticed that Wei Wen was still stuck at the 9th level of Domain Master. Even though Luofeng had poured in abundant resources so his family and close friends, including his brother, Luohua, could easily reach the Immortal level. Wei Wen casually explained that a Domain Master's lifespan still had a few million years left, so he wanted to enjoy his training process before eventually stepping up to the World Master level. Wei Wen's attitude, still treating him like a normal human, made Luofeng feel at ease. Even though his status had skyrocketed to the heavens as a protector of the race, he never once showed any arrogance in front of his old friend. That late-night catch-up got Luofeng's mind mapping out 3 grand plans he needed to pull off in the future. His first task was to head back and claim the giant white wings, but doing so required him to train his willpower to the level of a true god, a milestone he could only reach by braving the extreme environments of the universe ocean. His second task was to retrieve the hidden treasure left behind by Jiafanzi in the universe boat, a lethal region that demanded Luofeng to explore it personally, armed with his newly acquired navigation map. Meanwhile, his third thought drifted to his master, Zuo Shanke. Luofeng started speculating that his master definitely had some massive, hidden agenda behind his dedication to guiding his disciple and gifting him a supreme true treasure. While cementing his plan to use the universe boat as his main spot for honing his mental strength and hunting for Jiafanzi's relics to restore his white wings, Luofeng started gathering comprehensive intel about the deadly region. At the same time, deep within the Tilted Peak realm, a fierce battle was unfolding between Primal Chaos City leader and a golden armored master with 3 faces and 8 arms named Phantom. Hailing from the Purple Moon Holy Land, Phantom challenged Primal Chaos City leader to a one-on-one duel to test the highly renowned human leader's reputation in the universe ocean. Phantom immediately unleashed his ultimate technique, fusing his 8 maces into a single giant divine mace capable of crushing the surrounding space. Facing the terrifying assault, Primal Chaos City leader calmly unleashed the Chaos move technique, swinging his giant golden palm that encapsulated the creation of a miniature universe. The devastating clash instantly shattered Phantom's mace and sent him flying until he froze mid-storm. This forced the fighter from the Holy Land to acknowledge the superiority of Primal Chaos City leader's palm and promptly retreat from the battlefield. Shortly after winning the fight, Primal Chaos City leader was startled by an emergency message sent by Huge Axe Creator straight into his mind. Bursting with overwhelming joy, Huge Axe Creator announced that he had just struck immense cosmic luck by acquiring a supreme true treasure shaped like a giant axe. This news of a massive victory, highly anticipated by the entire human race, instantly made Primal Chaos City leader's eyes go wide with glee. He immediately spread the happy news to the other Universe Masters, including Luofeng, Darkness Master, and Void Gold Master, who instantly shared in the incredible wave of joy. The news of Huge Axe Creator's success in obtaining a supreme true treasure giant axe was a much-needed breath of fresh air for the entire human race. All this time, ever since Ancestor Yuan was suppressed by the laws of the universe, the human race had chosen to keep a low profile and was often pressured by rival races like the Demon, Bug, and Automaton. In a secret celebration party held in the virtual universe, Huge Axe Creator and 19 Universe Masters gathered, raising their glasses in overflowing joy. Even though the vibe was highly festive, Huge Axe Creator reminded everyone present to keep this a strict secret until he safely made it out of the inner area of the Tilted Peak realm, both for the safety of the race and for the element of surprise against their enemies in the future. During the party, Primal Chaos City leader approached Luofeng, holding a cup of black wine, to congratulate him and hand over a far more detailed navigation map of the universe boat belonging to Huge Axe Creator. Feeling deeply helped, Luofeng wasn't about to just sit there. He immediately returned the favor by handing over a copy of the Pulling Traces diagram map he had accidentally acquired from Jiafanzi's relics. Primal Chaos City leader was wide-eyed in disbelief, as Luofeng's map detailed the inner regions of the universe boat with incredible scale and accuracy, far surpassing the secret map collection previously held by the Human Race Alliance. Seeing Luofeng's map contribution, Huge Axe Creator immediately announced the great news to the entire party hall, which instantly triggered cheers and words of gratitude from the other Universe Masters to Luofeng. This new map incredibly multiplied the human race's knowledge of the safe routes in the universe boat, including several core areas that were previously considered blind mysteries. This event made Luofeng feel the warmth and immensely solid unity within his race, where every higher-up always acted genuinely for their shared glory and safety, without any intent to backstab one another. As a token of appreciation for this monumental contribution, Huge Axe Creator personally approached Luofeng to award him 5,000 true treasure points. Although the map's actual value was way higher, the limited treasury of the race made Huge Axe Creator hope Luofeng could understand the decision and use the points wisely to strengthen himself. Luofeng, who initially planned to give the map away for free, eventually accepted the points after being pressed by Huge Axe Creator, who strongly urged him to quickly make a breakthrough and become an independent universe master in the near future. After the party ended, Luofeng returned to his residence on Earth and began deep diving into all the compiled intel about the universe boat while reflecting in a restaurant. From the latest data he received, it was revealed that the treasure tokens or pendants in the universe boat had a hierarchy based on color: black for the lowest level, green for the mid-level, and silver for the highest level, which was exclusively held by residents of the Holy Lands. The green pendant now in Luofeng's hands turned out to be a special access pass to an area directly bordering the deepest core of the universe boat, a super extreme zone that usually only true gods dared to step into. The reality that Jiafanzi's treasure storage was located in such a deadly area made Luofeng let out a long sigh and inwardly complain about how extreme the test he had to face was. Let alone himself, who was just at the universe venerable level, even his own master, the incredibly powerful Primal Chaos City leader, could never guarantee his safety if he recklessly forced his way into the green token area. Yet, instead of flinching or dropping his intentions, this dangerous challenge only further ignited Luofeng's reputation and determination to push further into the universe ocean. Just 3 months after wrapping up all his personal affairs on Earth, Luofeng steeled his heart, packed his bags, and said goodbye to the original universe. Piloting the Star Tower, he bolted through the vacuum of space toward the coordinates of the universe boat, with one solid goal in his head. His new journey this time wasn't just a hunt for Jiafanzi's unparalleled treasures. It was also a suicide mission to forge his divine mental strength, so he could eventually conquer the giant white wings, still waiting for him in the Tilted Peak realm. So what happens next? Let's wait and see in the next video, guys. Okay, thank you for watching until the end. And don't forget to support this channel with likes, subscribe, and comments. That's all from me. Bye.
足以令寻常宇宙之主湮灭。
哎，你真有耐心。
有人，
人超级强者的手臂，
历经3个轮回，
这里对你来说太危险了。
是这
性将至。